Good evening, I'm Rashaad Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Malaysia could have seen one of its lowest number of new cases today. However, with 72 imported cases, it's the highest number in 12 days. Malaysia reported 22 new COVID-19 cases from local transmissions on Wednesday. However, a spike in imported cases pushed the total number of new cases today to 94.
Daripada 94 kes baru yang dilaporkan hari ini, 72 kes adalah kes import melibatkan warga negara dan pelajar Malaysia yang pulang daripada Indonesia. Ini bermakna kes penularan tempatan adalah bersamaan dengan 22 kes sahaja.
During the daily press conference today, Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah also said no new death was reported today. This means the death toll remains at 100. Meanwhile, 55 COVID-19 patients have recovered, bringing the total number of recoveries to 4,087. Phase 4 of the Movement Control Order will make things a little easier for Malaysians. With COVID-19 cases dropping, Malaysia is set to ease some restrictions in the fourth phase of the Movement Control Order. Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob outlined some of the ways the restrictions will be eased during his daily press briefing this afternoon. Now, those going out to buy essential goods will be allowed to bring one companion. However, that companion must be a family member from the same residence.
Jadi kita benarkan 2 orang untuk satu kereta. Tetapi mesti daripada rumah yang sama dan keluarga yang terdekat. Ya, sebab kalau daripada rumah yang sama, kalau kita fikirkan dari segi soal social distancing, di dalam rumah pun mereka tetap bersama. Lebih-lebih lagi, jikalau rumah mereka tidak ada kes yang melibatkan COVID positif, maknanya semua dalam rumah juga selamat. Jadi sebab itu kita benarkan.
In the fourth phase of the MCO, the government has also gazetted a clearer outline for the 10-kilometre travel rule, no longer leaving it to the discretion of the police.
Tetapi kali ini kita wartakan dengan lebih jelas, iaitu perkara-perkara yang kita benarkan adalah jika ianya melibatkan keperluan harian, membeli makanan, perkhidmatan kesihatan dan perubatan. Kalau mereka terpaksa keluar lebih daripada 10 km. Jadi kita benarkan. Katakan dia sakit, nak pergi ke klinik. Klinik berada di 15 km daripada rumah mereka. Kita benarkan.
According to the government, there's a reason why the Deputy Minister and the Perak State Exco member had to pay fines recently and not face jail time. No one is above the law and there are no double standards. That was the message delivered by Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob following widespread criticism after Deputy Health Minister Nur Azmi Ghazali and Perak Exco member Razman Zakaria were fined 1,000 ringgit for violating the Prevention and Control of Infectious Disease Regulations 2020. Netizens pointed out that while many Malaysians were sent to jail for violating the MCO, the politicians walked away with only a fine. However, Ismail Sabri said there was an explanation for this.
Kenapa berbeza? Sebab undang-undangnya berbeza. Charge ataupun tuduhan adalah berbeza. Sebagai contoh, 2 VVIP kita, Exco Perak dan juga Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan, mereka hanya melanggar dari segi SOP di bawah peraturan. SOP. Bukan melanggar perintah PKP. Sebab saya dah sebutkan bahawa wakil rakyat merupakan individu yang dibenarkan untuk bertugas sewaktu PKP. Mereka jaga kepentingan rakyat mereka di bawah. Jadi tentu saja mereka mesti dibebaskan untuk bergerak untuk memberikan bantuan dan kebajikan kepada pengundi-pengundi ataupun rakyat di bawah. Jadi mereka dibenarkan. Tetapi kerana kesalahan mungkin dari segi penjarakan sosial dan sebagainya, dari segi SOP, maka mungkin tindakan dikenakan.
Health screenings were conducted at a popular market in Petaling Jaya today after a trader tested positive for COVID-19. A total of 151 people linked to the Petaling Jaya Old Town Market underwent health screening today after a trader tested positive for COVID-19 on April 25th. Petaling Jaya District Officer Johari Anwar revealed that from the total number of those screened today, 118 were traders at the market.
So proses saringan dan sampling semua telah selesai pada pagi ini dan kita akan dapatkan keputusannya dalam tempoh 48 jam lah daripada tarikh hari ini, saringan ini, dan kemudiannya setelah kita mendapatkan keputusan itu, jadi kita akan membuat keputusan sama ada tempoh kuarantin mereka ni akan ditamatkan atau dilanjutkan, sebab mereka yang telah diambil saringan dan sampling ni telah pun diberikan surat kuarantin selama 14 hari.
The PJ Old Town Market was closed on Monday for 5 days after a trader tested positive after showing COVID-19 symptoms. This is the second market in Petaling Jaya to shut down due to a COVID-19 infection after the Taman Megah morning market. At the screening today, only certain traders were required to get tested, and when asked about it, Johari said there was a reason for this.
Okey, kita telah maklumkan bagi pasar Jalan Osman ini, seksyen yang terlibat itu adalah melibatkan di bahagian ikan dan juga beberapa peniaga makanan yang kita suspek kemungkinan pada tempoh sepanjang itu berniaga pada waktu itu. Jadi jumlah stall untuk bahagian ikan ni adalah sebanyak 21 stall. Jadi peniaga dan helper tu total dia adalah lebih kurang seperti yang saya sebut tadi tu adalah seramai 118 lah.
Authorities have also urged those who visited the market between April 5th and 18 to fill up an online form.
Sekiranya mereka ni mempunyai gejala ataupun simptom, mereka ni kita minta supaya mengisi Google Form yang telah pun kita maklumkan, dan pihak PKD akan memanggil mereka untuk mengadakan saringan dan seterusnya membuat sampling kalau mereka ada simptom. Ataupun mereka boleh pergi ke klinik kesihatan yang berdekatan, iaitu di klinik kesihatan Taman Medan ataupun Kelana Jaya lah, untuk dibuat saringan sekiranya mereka ada gejala.
Klinik Kesihatan Taman Medan will also assess those who fill up the form and will call in those deemed at high risk to get tested. Coming up next, Britain may have the highest death toll from COVID-19 in Europe. Imagine being confined in the enhanced MCO with limited food. That is what some families had to endure in Taman Batu View.
The Bandar Baru Utara Selayang area is now in its 10th day of an enhanced movement control order. For the residents of Taman Batu View, a small housing area just a stone's throw away from the Kuala Lumpur wholesale market separated by Jalan Kuching, today is when they finally received some eggs and canned food from the welfare department. For the last 9 days, they have survived on allocations of rice, oil and flour that were distributed to them by the authorities. Although they were not starving, they have all run short of vegetables and meat and have desperately tried to get help from outside.
Saya pun dah cuba call, tapi nombor ni bukan senang nak dapat. Kalau tak ada orang jawab. Kalau tak, memang tak boleh call masuk. Kalau dah dapat call jawab masuk pun, apa yang kita tanya, diorang akan jawapan yang mereka akan bagi, tunggu. Diorang kena tunggu. Sabar, tunggu. Itu saja jawapan yang kita boleh dapat.
Sampai sekarang tak ada pampers untuk anak diorang supply, tak ada susu supply, tak ada telur, tak ada sayuran apa pun sampai sekarang kita tak terima lagi. Sebab kawasan sini, diorang kebanyakan 80% adalah warga asing. Okey, kita orang penduduk, katakan warga negara Malaysia yang tinggal sini memang dalam lingkungan 20% sajalah. Okey. Tapi janganlah kerajaan tolak sekali yang kita orang ini dalam kiraan warga asing. Berilah keutamaan kepada warga negara Malaysia pun.
Mata bubur saja. Dia kasih belas minyak dengan tepung apa boleh. Lagi buat roti canai, ini saja. Sayur pun tak ada, daging pun tak ada.
Oh, dekat rumah memang semua sudah habis?
Habis lah. Setelah 9 hari kita ada simpan telur pun habis lah.
Telur pun kerajaan tak bagi.
Telur kerajaan pun tak kasih.
After many calls to the welfare department, families with babies in Taman Batu View finally received some milk formula and diapers yesterday. At around noon today, the welfare department also sent more food supplies for Malaysian families in the residential areas, including chicken eggs, salted eggs and some canned food. Although there is still no vegetables and meat, the residents here can at least breathe a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, a check on the Sri Murni condominiums, which houses more than 15,000 residents, found that they had received vegetables and meat last week.
Masa mula-mula tu tak okey lah, cuma beras, minyak dengan tepung. Lepas tu hari Khamis malam 11.30 gitulah, diorang ketuk pintu, diorang hantar makanan. Semualah ada sayur, ada telur, ada ayam, ada Maggi, susu tin, Milo, lepas tu ada apa lagi ada Nescafe. Okay, macam okey lah untuk kat rumah kan.
Saya rasa bekalan makanan yang diorang bagi ni pun dah melebihi dah kalau ikutkan. Kita sepatutnya PKPD ni patutnya saya rasa adalah satu hikmah juga sebenarnya. Sebab walaupun kita ni dipagari dengan pagar duri, tapi boleh dikatakan dalam blok ni semua orang dapat makan.
Inconsistent food supplies remain to be a key issue in many areas under enhanced movement control orders. The biggest wish for the Taman Batu View residents right now is that the EMCO will not be extended beyond its original time frame. Vivian Yap, Shazwana Amir reporting for Kini TV.
With the new figures released, Britain's death toll may be higher than previously reported. Britain is on track to record one of the worst coronavirus death tolls in Europe after data published on Tuesday showed nationwide fatalities topped 24,000 last week. Unlike the hospital death tolls announced daily by the government, the new data also includes deaths in community settings such as care homes. The Office for National Statistics, ONS, said over 21,000 people had died in England by April 17, with mentions of COVID-19 on their death certificate. Together with figures from Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, the total United Kingdom death toll was at least 24,000 as of April 19. UK's Health Minister Matt Hancock said there is no short-term end in sight for the UK's lockdown measures. He warned of the danger of a second peak of infections should they be lifted too soon.
The risk of a second peak is real, but as a nation, we're holding it at bay. So please, stay at home, protect the NHS, and save lives. We don't yet have the number of deaths and the number of infections low enough for that to be safe to reopen the schools, and we don't yet know how fast the number of new cases will fall, and so we haven't been able to make that decision yet.
A UK death toll of more than 24,000 puts it among the worst hit in Europe, exceeding France, which also counts deaths in care homes. The ONS bases its figures on mentions of COVID-19 in death certificates, including suspected cases, rather than those who actually tested positive. Spain announced a 4-phase plan on Tuesday to lift one of the toughest coronavirus lockdowns in Europe. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the lifting of restrictions that have halted public life since March 14 and nearly paralyzed the economy will begin on May 4th and vary from province to province. During the initial phase, which is known as the preparatory phase, hairdressers and other businesses that operate by appointment will open, while restaurants will be able to offer takeaway services. In the next stage, which is expected to begin on May 11th for most of Spain, small businesses can reopen under strict safety conditions. Bars and restaurants can reopen their terraces, but will be limited to a third of their capacity. Places of worship will also be reopened, limiting the capacity to 1/3. From this point, healthy people with no underlying medical conditions will be allowed to socialize together in small groups, while family members will be permitted to attend funerals. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.